this shit going, man. Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Who we got, man? Who we got? Get it, man. Run it up. Team, man. Alright, bet. Cornell said, it's my first live time in a live. I'm a beginner for sure. We welcome all beginners, man. Shout out, bro, for investing in himself and, you know, locking in with the team, man. Welcome to Investyobag Financial University, my dog. Any beginners in here who just now hopping in the group? Wait, let me know where y'all at. Intermittent. Is you be pure beginner? Is you already experienced? You already know what you're doing, but just want to lock in with a team? Let me know where you at with everything. Is you profitable? Is you break even? Are you blowing account? You feel me? Just starting off. My people that's already been in the group, where y'all at? You know, what's going on with y'all? With y'all journey? How y'all feel? How y'all feel about everything? New month. You know, we had a phenomenal month last month, but even if you went green last month and you all good, just pick your head up. You know, you might have to size down at the beginning of this month and work your way through it. You're gonna be straight. That's what we here for. You feel me? Nobody left behind, man. So we got Zay, we got Tacoby, Larry, Josh Flows, Young Bull. I don't want to say your name wrong, bro. I'm gonna just, damn. I think it's Jaquantez Harris. And Derek Williams, Makia. Who else we got in right now? MJ Ski. We got Bar from 0014. We got Trey B. For sure. Beginner first law. Alright, bet. 1,000. Welcome in. We appreciate you, my dog. Already experienced for sure, Makia. So you've been tapped in with us for like the whole May. So hopefully you liking the group and everything so far. This is my first time in here. Alright, bet. For sure. Welcome in. Beginner, pure beginner. Bet. I'm between break even and I feel like I'm almost profitable. Alright, bet, bro. So I know what stage you at right now. So the stage where bro is at right now, where he's break even, right? Well, he said he's between break even. So he either break even or he around that, right? But he said he damn near he finna be profitable. So like the stage where you at right now, bro, it sounds like you got experience. You just got to get consistent. So with your biggest thing, I feel like right now, which your group is going to help you a lot with, is risk management. That's going to help you be consistent. Patience, knowing when to sit cash. Okay. knowing days when you shouldn't be trading, and then also when to adjust. Knowing when, okay, it's a swing type of market, day trading type of market, position sizes, things of that nature that the group is going to help you with, my dog. And we do this shit as a team, bro. All right, so that's where you at, man, for sure. He said, been in the group for about a month, studying to make sure I got all the bases down, following the plays y'all make each week. You guys been motivated. Damn, that's real, gang. I'm about to go ahead and pin that. So my dog been in for a month, and he just been studying shit, you know. He been peeping the scene, and just learning, just soaking in the knowledge. And he's also getting inspired too. So that's why, like, I really like the group, because you get to get inspired, bro. So it's not like you not on no shit where it's like you learning bullshit. You feel me? Because you see us every week make money from the same shit that you coming in as a pure beginner learning. So you know it's possible. It ain't on no shit. The question of whether this stock shit is possible is out the door. You don't even ask yourself that no more. Because you seeing niggas make 100, 200, 300, 3,000, 5K, 800, 600, 400. This shit consistent. So you knowing like, damn, okay, they just know something I don't know yet. What do they know? You feel me? How can I get to that point? And once you figure that out, my dog, then you straight, bro. But that's the good thing, is that, like, okay, you going through the course, you attending a lot of meetings, you whatever the case, right? Even if you got another mentor, whatever the case, you just soaking up knowledge. You see this shit is possible, bro, because we doing it right in your face each and every single day. So that's real life, Zay. Shout out to you, my dog, for sure. Jaquintez, I said it right, for sure, bro. MJ Ski said, beginner learning the basics while also reading the chats, staying updated. Okay, bet, for sure. So I like to hear that. So you doing good, man. Just starting, for sure. Jacoby Fowler, just starting, for sure, bro. As a pure beginner, bro, and you know, of course I'm biased, right? Because it's Investyobag, but just on a real note, bro, like, and you can ask the guys that came in as pure beginners, bro. Like, let me see if I got any known pure beginners that I feel like could most everybody right here already had a little bit of experience. They already kind of like, they weren't pure beginners. I don't see nobody in right now that's kind of been in for a little minute. Everybody in the live right now that I see already had like a little bit of experience, as I know. I think so. But like, man, I feel like you I won't rather you be nowhere else, bro, as a pure beginner, my dog, real life. He said, good with technicals, just still getting better with the psychology. Okay, bet. That's real. Will J, for sure. I'll be seeing you active in the chat, so shout out Will J, for sure. Definitely the psychology. Yeah. No, that's real, bro. I think we were just speaking on psychology not too long ago. Let me get some water real quick. Yeah, 1000%. Like the psychology, and it takes some time, you know. And everybody got their different philosophies of how they view the market. But once you get it though, it will click. Now here's the thing: when it comes to like psychology and our emotions and things of that nature, you know, you're gonna hear these gurus say, you're not supposed to have no emotions when it comes to trading, and you're supposed to trade with, you're supposed to just be this robot and all type of shit, right? They're gonna tell you not have no emotions, bro. It's impossible for you to do that. Why? Because you're not AI, bro. You're not a bot. So when these people tell you guys you're not supposed to have no emotions trading, it's impossible. We're gonna have emotions with anything because we're human. Our biggest focus is just controlling our emotions the best way we can. You could control them, but you cannot just not have no emotions. You feel me? So yeah, I might have FOMO, but let me control my FOMO. Let me have FOMO of, oh damn, this motherfucker running, I ain't get in. But I got control of my FOMO on some, But I'm still not finna chase and put my money in that shit. And then, you feel me? Just because this motherfucker running. You feel me? Trying to chase a setup that ain't really there. But I'm still on the other end. I'm still on some, damn, I missed out on. I could have, you know what I'm saying? I could have benefited off this play for real. So that's just like an example of like, you still got emotions, but you just control them though to make sure you don't end up in a real messed up situation, you know? So, you good, Will J, for sure, bro. That's all you gotta do, my dog. He said I'm more of a day trader. For sure, bro. We got some good day traders in the group. I mainly swing trade, and I do day trade when I need to. I'm getting better with that. I've been doing a lot much more shorter plays, but I'm mainly a swing trader. But you could day trade a lot of my plays too. Like a lot of my shit hit like same day or like next day. For real, bro. People see me do that shit all the time, bro. I might get a contract that's 2 months out, get up 30% on that shit in like 2 hours, and we out of there, and we go get in on the back end. So wherever you at, bro, you good, my dog. He said, I got your advice, writing down open and close prices of each month. Yeah, for sure, bro. Know where your stock opened at for this month, know where it closed at for last month, so that way it's easy to pinpoint what's the situation here. Is the stock up for the month? Instantly, you'll be able to know that. Is it down for the month? Instantly, you'll be able to know that. Those are also really good levels to play and trade off of. Good confluence, for sure, bro. He said, I can vouch pure beginner. This group put me on so much game and gave me the confidence and love for the shit. Will J, no, that's real. Appreciate that, bro. So there you have it. He vouched for my peer beginners coming in, bro. You definitely gonna get motivated. It's hard, bro. Like that's how it was for me. It's hard for me not to get motivated with this trading shit and stick to it when I'm seeing this make, cause my type of money that I'm going to work for. You feel me? Or that I'm whatever I'm doing. It's like I seen this shit in real time, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I just thought to myself, damn, bro, if I could just even get a little bit of this, even if a nigga don't get to the point where he making millions with the stock shit, at least let me be making hundreds of thousands or 5 figures with the shit. Like, something. Like, I need parts of this. You feel me? And once I seen that it was possible, gang, I couldn't look back, bro. In real life, it'll do that to you. So, I'm glad that we, inspire you guys, man. Real life coming in. What books you recommend to sharpen up your mind on financial literacy? It's gonna sound cliche, bro, but Rich Dad Poor Dad, that's the first one. Like, I'm gonna always recommend that one. It sounds cliche, that's what everybody say, but it's just real shit, bro. Like, when I first got on my finance journey, Brandon B, without my dog, just popped in. No Love Introvert said he just renewed the sub for sure, bro. He rocking with us. Do you know about the new PTD? Yeah, bro. So they just getting rid of the pattern day trading rule with the margin account, bro. So now you could pretty much, you don't have to worry about if you have a margin account and you don't got at least 25K in there, you don't got to worry about the getting flagged for doing more than like 4 or 3 trades a day. So that's pretty much what that is, bro. Giving people a little bit more freedom with their stuff, you know. But I always went cash account, so I never really paid attention to. The PDT rule never affected me because any brokerage account I'm opening, I'm instantly going for cash account. You feel me? So, I really don't, easy way worse for sure. So yeah, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Also, Richest Man in Babylon. Okay. So one thing I took away from Rich Dad Poor Dad, one of the main things, okay, was that the profit is in the buy, not the sell. Okay? So that's what anything you do in life. The profit is in the buy, not the sell. And what I did was I applied that to trading, but he was talking about real estate. I applied that to stocks, but he was talking about real estate. But if you guys, let's just peep gang real quick. If you think about it, right? When we say the profit is in the buy, not the sell, Don't when we buy an option contract, we buying it at the lowest bid and ask, the pretty much like the lowest price we could try to buy it at, and we looking to sell it for a higher price. When you buy shares of a company, ain't you trying to buy low and sell high? You already in your head, you already understand that the profit is going to come out of me selling this mug. But in order for that to happen, I need to buy it at a good price. Make sense? So, for example, Nvidia, let's just say for Nvidia, all-time highs is $200. Let's just say that real quick. And we know Nvidia is Nvidia. But it's all-time highs at 200. So we know what will most likely happen, guys, when a stock hits new highs. It'll run. They're gonna squeeze it. But eventually that stock is going to retrace. Even if it don't retrace a lot, at some point, this one gonna give a pullback. So if I already know that, okay, let me not buy Nvidia right here at 200. Let me see what it do, whether it keep running or whatever the case. All right, cool. At these highs, but let me just catch it on the pullback. Let me catch it on the dip, because I understand that once I get it at this price, at this low, it's gonna go back up. What goes down must go back up. What goes up must come down. Right? So that's what I took away from the Rich Dad Poor Dad, bro. So whatever I'm doing, whether it's stocks, even if I'm up trapping, bro. Think about it, gang. The profit is, he already understand listen, he's baking his profit already in his buy. He's understanding that. If I buy these bowls for 200, what can I sell them for? He's not thinking, let me sell them for, you feel me? Like, it's not in reverse, bro. He's thinking instantly, I gotta buy these at a price that I'm gonna be able to sell them double for. So if nobody is buying the bowls for 400, he know he can't buy the bowls. If nobody is buying them, or if he can't sell them for 400, then he can't buy them for, you feel what I'm saying? He got to figure out, okay, what's the best price for me to get the profit out, bro? So that's that. And then Richest Man in Babylon, bro. Richest Man in Babylon taught me always pay yourself first, bro. He who pays himself first will never go broke. He who pays himself first will never go broke, bro. That shit damn near like a quote in the Bible, my dog. Because it's real life. How can I ever go broke if I make sure that my savings, my goals, and my investing is first top priority before these goddamn bills, before going to the club, before, you know what I'm saying? So guess what? When I get a check, I say to myself, I budget, right? And say, before it go to anything, I say, I'm taking a portion out of this, let's just say $1,000. Boom, 300 instantly, I'm putting up. But a lot of people in reverse, they'll get 1,000, they gonna spend, and then what's left, then that's where they're gonna try to get them. Not knowing that psychologically, bro, you are always putting yourself last. That means you are last priority. Because that's where you put your money there last. So you automatically gonna give yourself the lesser amount every time. Because you looking at it as like, oh, this is what I got left to spend. You're not looking at it as on the front end, this is what I got to invest. You spend it first, then okay, this is what I got left to give myself. So, Rich Man in Babylon, and then another one financially that helped me was Think and Grow Rich, bro. And some of these books may be cliche, but they real to me. You know what I'm saying? But Think and Grow Rich taught me was negotiation, bro. It don't matter how much money you have. If you have no negotiation skills, you most likely will go broke. What does that mean, Chris? Damn, what you mean, bro? Because when you start getting money, or you think you getting money, or whatever your income you think you getting, guess what? It's easy to lose touch with negotiation skills. So what happens? You start overpaying for shit. You start not seeing the value in things because you getting money, because you quote unquote got it. So what happens is you go in this damn car dealership, right? And you looking at this car. So since you make 10K a month, I got it. You make 10, 15 racks a month, right? I got it. The MSRP on this motherfucker, 70 racks. You want some shit where you not even asking them what's the full out the door price. You're not asking them, okay, what extra fees? You're not really going into the detail, everything that's baked inside the 70. What's the taxes that's gonna be? What's the registration taxes I'm gonna have to pay? And then you also is not trying to get no type of discounts on the car at all. So let's just say you make 15 racks a month. You finna buy this car for $70,000 out the door. Okay? It's a used vehicle, but it's certified used, whatever the case. All right, cool. And cause you make 15 plus a month, you making decent money. So you, in your head, I can afford it. I got it. I ain't tripping on it. You're not even trying to see nothing wrong with the car. You're not trying to see, damn, these motherfuckers gonna need some new tires in about 3 months. Hey, can you knock off 500? Can you knock off 1,000? Can you know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, it's a motherfucker that make probably 8K a month. And he's able to go in there with some negotiation skills and get that car 10,000. He able to peep little certain shit and probably knock off like 7 racks. So now he able to get that same car for like 63K. Meanwhile, you just overpaid 7,000 for the same car. That motherfucker that makes way significantly less than you for 63,000 because you have no negotiation skills. You will buy anything. Just because you got the money don't mean you have to spend it. Just because you think you got the money don't mean you necessarily have to spend that. When it comes to things like car insurance and you're going through quotes, you're going through rates. Well, whoever your person is who looking at your rates or whatever the case. And they tell you, they run the numbers, this, that, and the third, and they say, yeah, full coverage, we can get you at $300 a month. And you just say, okay, cool, I'll take that. You're not even gonna try to ask them, is there any way I can get that lower? Is there any tweaks or anything different any different information you could put in to get that lower? And then they're double checking, oh, you know what? Here, let's change this, let's do this. Oh, wow, I'm able to get you in at $250 a month. You just saved yourself an extra $50. But since you got it, you taking the first thing that somebody just throwing at you. You're not even trying to negotiate at all. So I learned that, bro. Negotiation skills, no matter what type of money you getting. Because it's always going to be somebody that's getting way significantly less than you. But, bro, he making sure he paying, you know what I'm saying? He not overpaying for nothing. It's not called being cheap, bro. That's the thing. That's what people will make it seem like that. But that's all the wealthy do, bro. That's how they stay wealthy. They got good negotiation skills, bro. Especially when it comes to real estate, assets, businesses, evaluations, all that type of shit, bro. They negotiate, bro. It's a difference between you always trying to get off on them because you don't understand value and you keep trying to get the lowest price and you know what I'm saying? It's a difference between that versus you understand the value, but you understand like, okay, something could be different here. Yeah, you guys listed this car for $70,000, but man, it's a little dent on the side, bro. We gotta knock off $300 off this. You know what I'm saying? Cause that, you know what I'm saying? So that's just what I learned, bro. He asked me the top 3 books, you know, what I learned, you know, just when it comes to finances, bro. And that's what it is, my dog. Because that's going to be really helpful as your income starts to grow. You're going to think you got it. You're going to feel like you got it. And you're going to lose touch with reality and lose touch with negotiation skills. You feel me? So, yeah, especially when you start getting into business, bro. Like, you got to have negotiation skills, bro. In real life. Because when you start dealing with, like, tax accountants and stuff, they know what type of numbers and this, that, and the third you bringing in and all that. You in communication with them, but make sure you know everything. Like, make sure just because they tell you, oh, you got to pay $5,000, like, make sure you understand a breakdown of each, like, what's baked in this $5K. Don't just because you got it in your bank account, you know $5K ain't shit. Don't just pay it. Like, see what's actually the details baked inside of this $5K. Even though, yeah, this is my tax accountant and I trust her and this, done a third, but, like, you feel me? That's just how I look at shit, bro. So, yeah, my dog. All right, let's go ahead and start, man. Any other questions and things you guys have mentioned, we'll get to that. I'll finish going through the list. All right, as I go down, going through the chat. But we got to get started on our Wednesday live. That was a good start, though. Good game. Good question, bro. So, boom. I'm about to go ahead and share my screen. Okay. Do y'all see my screen in the chat? Somebody said, I just came in yesterday. Been watching the vids, but some stuff it gets confusing or doesn't make sense, and I take notes. I have like 4 pages. Any suggestions? Yeah, bro. You good. That's actually normal. So I wouldn't stress too much about not certain things not making sense. Sometimes you might have to, what I would recommend, we can all eat. I would recommend go through the course, like after you done going, you know, after you done going through, you take your notes, right? You look over them, go through it one more time. And then from there, what I would do, my dog, is the things that's still confusing, write them down, write the questions down, and then go research them. Whether that's asking me via inbox, whether you got to text me in the Circle app, whether you got to ask the member communication chat, whether you got to search it on YouTube, whether you got to ask ChatGPT, whether you got to ask Copilot to give you a breakdown of it, and whether you got to schedule a one-on-one call. That's how I would play it, my dog. So, and that's for anybody. So when you go through the course, right, you go through it thoroughly, you take your notes, boom, cool. Go through it again. And then anything that's still like hella confusing, like, damn, I just shit just not clicking. Write the questions down, like what's the main thing is confusion that you confused about, and then do exactly those resources that I just said, bro. Either hit me up in the inbox on the Circle app, schedule a one-on-one call, ask the member communication chat because somebody in the group might be able to help you. Go on YouTube, see if somebody on YouTube be able to help you. Go on ChatGPT, go on Copilot, and if you out of any of them sources, you should been able to. You know what I'm saying? If that's like 7 to 8 different things and how you feel me? You should have got a much more clear clarification of that thing, bro, that you weren't able to understand. All right. Now, if any of those things don't help, then you kind of just, you know, we'll just go from there. But I think you'll be straight, my dog. That's all I did, bro. Like that's like with me, bro, supplying demand. Like one of my main things when it came to the charts and shit, like with supply and demand, I just didn't understand, bro. And nobody on YouTube was able to break it down. Like it was just so damn confusing until I had found somebody, man, but he was trading Forex, actually. He was doing Forex and shit. And he had broke down supply and demand. And I'm like, I get it. I understand it now. Supply is sellers. Demand is buyers. Demand is an area of buyers. Unlike support is a specific level of buyer / support. Demand is a area of support / area of buyers. Supply is an area of resistance / sellers. Unlike resistance is one specific key level of sellers or resistance. That makes hella sense. You feel me? He broke it down like that, and damn, I get it. So yeah, that's how I would go about it, my dog. We got a lot of data tomorrow at 8:30. Oh yeah, we do. I thought that was Friday. Let's see what we got. We did see that Sunday, didn't we? Bet. Yep, we got initial jobless claims tomorrow at 8:30. Friday, we got U.S. unemployment rate. All right, cool. Good thing is this data come out at 8:30, so we'll get a good sense. We'll just do like we did today. Like until I seen the market, what it was gonna do and seen kind of what was popping off. Then I kind of went with my move with the XOM play. So yeah, we'll just do that. I like data that come out at 8:30 in the morning because you'll kind of get a sense of what the market want to do before the market open. You don't got to worry about nothing coming out in the middle of intraday, but then still just give the market like 30 minutes, see what it's gonna do. Even if something popping off, if you want to take it, because sometimes y'all see me do that, just go in light, bro. Like that's what I've been doing. Like if I see something popping off, but it's within the first 30 minutes, I'm not putting in no real pay, bro. I'm still buying time. I'm still buying the month out. Like I'm not playing with the first 30 minutes of market open, bro. Like in real life. So, yeah, we definitely can approach the market that way. All right, cool. So, let me go ahead and get rid of this. All right, let's just look at the market real quick before we look at any individual stocks. Let's just look at the market. Okay. I don't know why I got alerts set all the way up there. That's crazy. All right. So we pulled back today. Bit of profit taking. This was actually funny. Q shook back today because we was down. We was with the 740. Yeah, overnight this shit just tanked. Hold on. Yeah, AVGO. All right. Is everything down post market right now? Let me just briefly look through my main watches real quick, cause I didn't swing nothing overnight. Damn, Spy. My WM. Apple popped off. AMD. Nvidia. We TP'd Nvidia perfect, bro. Like, got our brain, got up out of there. Amazon. Netflix, I was looking at this earlier. This is one play I was mad about. I don't know how I missed these Netflix puts, man. But good thing about Netflix, we'll talk about this later, is I spot with my little lie. The RSI never lies. Look at the pop. Last time, boom, boom. Look at the pop. Boom. Even though it came down here, if you'd have bought time, you still was good. You just need to be patient, right? Yep. So we'll talk about Netflix. I'm plotting on something with Netflix for sure. The RSI don't lie, man. Just briefly going through this. Meta pissed me off today, bro. This thing was just acting a little weird today. Definitely looking at Meta above to hold above the 620. I got alerts set you guys some alerts, because I will be getting these metas if they pop off 625, and I'm gonna set an alert right here at 623. That's basically the same trade that we took, I think, this day. One of these days we took, I think it was this day, we took Meta over 620 and went dumb. So we're watching that same levels, been having some rejections there, some holds. We're gonna be looking at this for calls above that same level to pop off. Costco, Uber, Google, Tesla, 140. Berkshire Hathaway going dumb. AVGO got whooped. JP Morgan back at 300. That's crazy. JP Morgan was at 320. Now it's back at 300. Wow. But break and hold above like 302 ain't bad on this. So we'll bring that up later. Eli Lilly, Oracle. Damn, we TP'd on a lot of stuff like perfectly. ExxonMobil went dumb today. Damn, CrowdStrike had earnings. Tank too. Alright, so the market kind of in a funny spot right now. Damn, Walmart? I don't even be trading Walmart options, but that was a decent move. This was a good spot to buy that long term. Hopefully you guys grab that. Alright, cool. So far as the market, man, appreciate that, my dog. S_PJ rules for sure, bro. Real life. So we got this weekly rejection here. Let's see. QQQ opened up, where this is SPY. So SPY opened up for the month right here at 555 and change. closed last month at 556. Alright, cool. So far, we are down for the month. Okay. Now, am I bearish though? I am not bearish. Not just yet. I at least need this thing to clear at least 745. Don't get me wrong, this is good. You could short off this month's open price, but we only 3 days in a new month. So, you know, this just could be just some little exhaustion and then this thing getting bought back up. I would want to see this thing get down to at least 745, break and hold, and then that way I know I gotta move down right to 734, and then from there break and hold below 730. But I wouldn't try to short just yet up here, especially if you didn't catch it right here. If you catching it somewhere in the middle, like 750, kind of at risk, risk to reward is a little off. But this thing could try to do like one of these. Boom, and then one of those, or boom, break and hold below, and then boom. So any of those type of situations I'm looking at. Good thing is this too. So right now we starting the month with the month off red. As of right now, if this thing could get back and break and hold above like 750, 758, and then this thing decides to run for this month, that's good risk to reward. We could just use last month's close price or this month's open price as a stop loss and ride the wave back up to the upside. Qs. Let me just see something too as well. As far as moving averages. Now my pure beginners are just coming in. Don't get overwhelmed, okay? Because you don't know the charts, and the charts look crazy right now. You don't know, pretty much what you're looking at right now. It's all good. I try to explain this stuff as simple as possible, but I can't break down everything to the T. I got to try to be in the middle for my people that's already been in the group and pretty much know like what they looking at. So once you go through the course, you get to the technical analysis section, then you'll know definitely to the T of like what you're looking at once you guys finish going through the program or whatever. But just soak up the game for right now, and then any questions you have, and you're good. So right now, I'm still bullish. We haven't even broke the 4-hour 50-day moving average yet. We're not even at it yet. So this thing still got a few more dollars to go. So you can see last time, look at these bounces off the 4-hour 50-day moving average. We've been strong as hell. So you see, like, look at the bounce and the hold there of support. Look at the bounce damn near right here. Then this one is to the T right there. Look at the bounce and the hold of support right there to the 50-day moving average. So I'm damn sure not trying to short SPY when it's still above its 50-day moving average on this 4-hour time frame, because guess what? Since it got above it, April 2026, it's been above its 4-hour 50-day moving average. So why would I try to short when it's above it? That don't even make sense. So I like that confirmation, guys. I'm not even gonna lie. All right, we see it clear as day. The trend is your friend. This is what the moving averages here is for, right? So that's kind of where I'm at with this. All right. I think it's probably going to be the same thing for Qs. Let's look at this real quick. So damn, on Qs, it's not even nowhere near close to the 50-day moving average on the 4-hour time frame. Right? Don't get me wrong. Yeah, you could try to short from here. You could try to short off 743 and then ride the wave down to 720s for sure. That's a possibility. I do see that. But far as, because it did bounce, right? It bounced from its 50-day moving average right there. It held. these times right here, it didn't really touch it to the T, but it was very close. But QQQ hasn't been below its 50-day moving average on the 4-hour time frame since it broke above it in April. The beginning of April. Like, it's just been strong as hell. So until this trend breaks, then I wouldn't really risk, you feel me, not no long-term puts. Obviously, if you find something you want to scalp or whatever, then that's different. But over the overall trend, I think we still solid, for sure. That's just what I see. I'm just peeping the correlations here. This actually looked like a really good bounce play. I'm not even gonna, cause look, this was previous all-time highs. If I just draw like a little zone right here, shit, we might try to take some calls, you feel me, and see what happened and ride the wave back up off this 4-hour, 50-day break and retest of this zone right here. So that's a possibility. But I just have 2 alerts set here and there, and then kind of go from there. All right. But the markets is at highs right now. They are in resistance. So as far as longing companies, if your company doesn't have any divergence, I would either go light or just wait and see what how the market wants to play it. Because if not, it's gonna follow the market. And if this thing you're in calls while the SPY, QQQ, the Dow, IWM is going down, falling into, getting ready to, like, coming down into demand, you might not get that bounce you're looking for until everything aligns on these major indexes, and then the whole market bounces together, if that makes sense. DIA, this thing has been holding its moving averages, so we not even below so it's nothing to get scared about right now, y'all. I just think, the market is going through something right now, today and post-market, but I think we straight. Now, this is this is even better than Q's. If you look at this, look at that break and retest. So if the Dow wants to come down here, DIA, oh, this is easy. This little break and retest, look. Previous all-time highs, okay? Look at the consolidation and the build-up. The break and hold above 505. Boom, boom, boom. Consolidation, pop off in the new all-time highs. And then if you try to make your way back down and you hold 405 in confluence with this 50-day 4-hour moving average, of which you've been bouncing off of consecutively previously the last few weeks or so, this isn't bad for one of these. Back in the highs, if we can catch a bounce right here. So that's something to look at too. I will be looking at that on the Dow. But pretty much the same situations with these indexes right now. Is there any major news in the market that I'm missing, y'all? Did something come out of why the market kind of tanked like that post-market? Let me know real quick, because something probably did pop up on my Yahoo Finance or my CNBC, but I probably either missed it or didn't look at it. So let me know, y'all. Did some news come out? Because the market is down kind of hefty post-market. So did Trump bump his gums? Did Elon Musk say something? Shit, just let me know. Am I missing something? So right now, with IWM, and then after this, y'all, we can get into individual stocks and then Q&As, and we kind of go from there. For my guys, this is your first live. These lives are 2 hours, my dog. So get comfortable. Whatever you got to do, man. Get something to drink. Get some popcorn. This shit be like a movie every time, bro. We going to be here to 9:45, 9:40, bro. It's only 8:30, so you know what I'm saying? This is how we get to it, bro. Real life. Now, IWM, it's damn near already in its demand. So that's interesting on this 4-hour time frame. Now, it does have room if it wants to try to tank a little bit more to come to about 285 and try to bounce off its 450-day moving average. But far as this 287 right here, Because look how it bounced right here. Well, it gapped up and then still ran. Look right here. Now it's back right here. But not to mention, this was previous all-time highs right there. This same zone right here, it was a supply zone because you see, look at the multiple rejections. And then we finally got above it, and then it held multiple times right here in this, like right here in this area. So that's very interesting. Yes, this is previous all-time high. So let's set alert right here, y'all. Watch this IWM. And hold on, because I'm missing something. Let me go back up, and then let me make sure I plot my levels of which these guys opened up at. All right, let me make sure I got Qs too. Wait, so Qs is still up for the month. Okay. So Qs, as of just right now, is the only major index that's up. I think all the other ones is down. Right? If I go to SPY, so far for the month, it's slightly red. If I go to IWM, slightly red. And then we seen the Dow slightly red too as well. All right, so not 288. So since IWM opened at 288.39 for this month, let's go ahead and plot that level. So if it breaks and holding above that level and the market seems like it wants to get its momentum back, I will be looking at IWM calls and to play back into these highs and just use like 287 or 288 as a stop. This not bad. Just based off of like this little zone here, if it could hold this 287, gain some momentum, push here, kind of bounce in this little area, let it bounce first, that's not bad. Because if you just look at it like this, for real, it's just consolidating as of right now. As of right now, like if we just take all of this away, don't that look like just consolidation? It look like it's really just consolidating from about 286 or 287 through 292. This is what IWM look like right now. So it could either break down to the downside or bounce from here and go back up here. So interesting case on IWM. I would just say just keep it on watch to see what it wants to do. And then BTC, I heard BTC got clapped. Isn't it back at like 60,000? Wow. Where my crypto boys at? Yeah. Y'all ain't making no noise. Yeah. Yeah. Come on now. So you was better off investing in the SP, bro. You was better off going QQIWM or something, my boy. Real life. If I got 10K, bro, you think I'm putting it, and I got an option to go stock market or crypto, bro, I'm going stock market every time with my 10, bro. Because with crypto, it's gonna take this is not, but we might not get a return on crypto for the next 2 years. Like, you don't know when this finna pop. But I know it's proven the market is going to give me on average anywhere between 8 and 15+% on average a year. Versus what is the average return on some crypto, bro? Feel me? So I definitely think it's a good asset just because, you know, somebody else is willing to pay for it. But as far as putting your life savings in this, bro, hell no. I always say, man, I feel like crypto, watches, art, things of that nature is assets for people if you already got money. But if I'm trying to really get money and flip my dollar quick, I'm not finna do that with no crypto, bro. I'm not finna do that with a Rolex. Yeah, Rolex holds value and this, that, and the third, but you can't really actually flip. You're not finna, if you got 10 racks, you go buy a Rolex for 10K. You're not finna make $20,000 off of that, bro. Make sense? But if I got 10K and I go put it in stock, it might take some time to grow into 20K, but eventually that's gonna become 20K, bro. There's no way in history where somebody is gonna pay you a watch that you bought for $10,000 is gonna pay 20K for that watch, bro. It's over with. You feel me? So certain assets is for just to let your money sit, just so it don't depreciate in value. But it ain't finna give you no crazy ass growth, bro. That's how I feel like this shit is. Like, this shit gonna give you growth, but it's for if a motherfucker dealing with a bag and he just, you know what I'm saying? Unless you catch it. Now, obviously, right? Let's just speak on it. If you caught it here, then yeah, we talking about you running up a bag quick on some stock market options type of shit. But within all of this, you feel me? The down draw, and then you can't really make money with the crypto and shit going down. Yeah, you could do like they got like inverted ETFs and shit like that you could do with it, but even those are like 2x leverage, so those are way more risky. I wouldn't even recommend somebody do that. Those are risky as hell. So I mean, I'm taking stocks, shares, and stock options any day over what niggas be talking about. I would be 1,000, bro. Hey, my crypto boy is mad at me right now. Real life. But nah, man, it's good. So Bitcoin is on our long-term watch list. Just buy and hold though, bro. Because this shit gonna take a little minute, my dog. You know, just buy it, load up on it, but don't put the bulk of your income, or like, for example, this is how I would allocate it. Let's just say somebody got 10K, okay? Just for example, me, I'm putting my whole 10K in the stocks. I'm going full stock, everything stock. But if somebody just wanted to diversify, I say like this, bro. Go 8,000 stocks, $2,000 crypto. If you wanted to do the crypto shit. Obviously, it definitely just depends on how somebody, you know, how you feel. Because everybody got different philosophies of what they feel like hold the most value, this, that, and the third. But if I'm just being all 1,000, bro, and if somebody got 10K, I wouldn't recommend you put that full 10 into no crypto over no stocks. And I really wouldn't recommend you do half and half. I would recommend you go 8K stocks, $2,000 crypto, bro. In real life. Let's just do this real quick. And then we off this. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna get off my crypto, guys. So if we take crypto from a year ago, all right? So let's just do that. So we take crypto June of 2025, which we could say this thing was at about 110K. 1 year, this thing is down from that high. From last year to now, this thing is down 42%. Okay? Now, we not even finna go, me going to go look at individual stocks would be a smack in the face. So I'm not even gonna do that. I'm not even finna pull up no MU. I'm not even finna pull up no SanDisk. I'm not even finna pull up. You feel me? Crypto don't, man. Bitcoin don't want that work, bro. We not even finna speak on individual stocks. You feel me? We just finna do this, bro. We just finna go same time last year to now on the S&P 500, my dog. That's all we finna do. We not even finna, we gonna sugarcoat it for Bitcoin, cause he don't want it for real. We not even gonna do that. I'm gonna sugarcoat it for him. So we go June of 2025. The S&P 500 SPY, and that's the wrong thing, was at we're going to call it 591. Just the market alone, bro. We talking about the S&P 500 year. Here, a year later, you are up damn near 30%. 27%, bro. Versus you being down 40%. Which one would you take? That just goes to show you. So what I'm saying is here is, if you would have put in the same time last year 10 racks in Bitcoin versus 10 racks in the S&P 500, you actually down 42% on that. Versus being up damn near 30% on your 10 racks, bro. That's all I'm saying. You feel me? In real life, we not even fit to speak on if you was good with this shit and you know how to find companies, and we not even go speak on the potential of individual stocks, bro. We know what certain shit did. You feel me? We know what certain individual stocks did, bro. The potential is crazy. We just speaking on spot. We just speaking on market indexes, bro. SPY, QQQ, IWM, and you know what I'm saying? So that's why, I just mess with this, bro. I'm gonna just be 1,000, bro. But I just put chump change in crypto, man. At the end of the day, it's all what you believe in. But if somebody asking me like, Chris, bro, what would you do and how would you go about certain things, bro? Put the less amount of money in crypto. Just let that sit and run it up off the market, gang. Cause that shit really just for, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather you go gold really than crypto, bro. Cause at least gold got that shit already been around. Bitcoin only been around since what? 08? Maybe quicker than that. How long gold been a thing? So if we just talking about real, like, just investments, bro. Gold been around since 1833, bro. And this just when it was on the market. This shit been a thing way before that. You feel me? So, bro, I would rather you go gold. I'd rather you get shares of this, my dog, than crypto. Because at least I know that this is something that I know 1,000% I never go to zero. Crypto won't either, because all people going to do is buy it up as soon as it get low enough. I get and understand that. But as far as a better return, let's look at the return on this. You was better off going gold than some Bitcoin, bro. If I go June of 2025, let's pull up the actual gold. What's the name? If we just go June of 2025 versus right now, we ain't even gonna count all-time highs, because that'd be we already know that's gonna be crazy. Let's just say right now, bro. At the bare minimum, let's just say you didn't even TP at all-time highs. You still up 36%, bro. On gold. You feel me? This is not even all-time highs. If we talking all-time highs, come on, bro. You up 70% at one point versus crypto. So allocation definitely is key. And I'm only saying that, bro, because I met somebody. There may be somebody on this live or somebody in the chat right now that he want to invest his money. You got the right idea, but you don't got, like, investing is the right thing, but you don't understand, like, how you should allocate your investments, or like which investments is really going to give you the most value or a quicker rate of return, certain things of that nature. I actually know somebody who put a dub in crypto versus just the plain regular S&P 500, bro. And now that dub is like 5K right now. I'm not saying that dub won't ever be something in the future, but it's like, bro, you just put a dub in the Bitcoin or XRP, a full dub, like you didn't even allocate it. That's all I'm saying. At least allocate it if you believe in it, bro. Go 15K market and then 5K XRP. Or if you really believe in it, go, all right, cool, you could do half and half, but bro, you put the whole dub, like you not finna see that dub until you 60, bro. So I'm just trying to give you guys a good idea, man. Cool. So let's go ahead and go through these stocks, man. I'm gonna go through these questions and stuff. All right. So what I seen here on XOM, and I went in like I made 150 off this today. Which was actually a really good trade. I'm not tripping. Like the percentage, like 20 something percent, which was cool for like a small day trade. And that's even with cons being out a month out. So you had weeklies, then you did print on these real life. But pretty much though, this was just based off of a bigger setup though, honestly, too as well. Like I just seen, shout out Zachariah been pointing this out. We've been trying to catch this for a little minute. So shout out, bro. But it's the same thing, guys. These setups are the same, man. You see right here, like just pay attention of like what's continuously happening. Every time you see XOM gets in this green box, what happens? Okay, doesn't it go up? You may be like, Chris, bro, that's simple as hell. It is, but it's also about, you know, execution too as well. So yeah, the setup is simple, but you also have to wait for confirmation. So you might be saying, well, damn, all I had to do was wait for XOM to get in that green box and then buy calls with a little bit of time on them, and then I'm gonna make money. Simple terms, yes, bro, that is all it is. Because all you're doing is, you see clear as day. All you're doing is just identifying the value on a price chart. That's all it is. So since February, look where XOM has been bouncing from. This same general area from 146, from 146 to 148. And it got faked out a few times. It went to a low of 144. So if you want to do this, we could do this. We could do 147 to about 144. That look a little bit better. So now you see, okay, every time XOM gets in this green box, it goes up. Right? Right here. Boom. 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 From here. All-time highs. Came back down again. Faked out people and then came back. Boom. Went to 155. Came back down. Boom. Went to 160 something. Came back down. Boom. Now, right? So when I seen this, in my head, okay. All I got to do is wait for confirmation. What was confirmation, Chris? Well, at the time, if you go look at all the other stocks that's in the same general industry, those were popping off too as well. Those were the ones that was pretty much popping off this morning. Like this went crazy. Everything got kind of sold off. Their gains took away like towards the end of the day, but like this is what was going crazy at one point. So I'm like, okay, they got a little bit of divergence compared to the market. This gave up its gains. So this industry was just popping off a bit. So I'm like, okay, that's some confirmation. Obviously, it gave up its gains, which is crazy. So I'm glad we did go in XOM instead of the other ones, because this actually held up. We was actually able to get something out of this shit before it tanked. And then also, right, I was watching this level 150. So if you draw a line across 150, well, you can see that's why I was waiting for confirmation to get above. So you could take it down here, cool, or right here, but then you at risk of this thing breaking 147, getting faked out, and then now, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted this thing to catch momentum, get above what? The daily 100-day moving average at support. So it kind of gapped up a little bit, held at support, bounced off. So that was one thing of confirmation. right? Holding this 100-day moving average as support on the daily time frame. And then also, obviously, the continuation from this bigger aspect of the bounce from this green zone. And then once we got above 150, I'm like, okay, 150 is the perfect stop. At the time I seen this, it was at like 153 or something like that. So I had to move stop up to like 152. But originally I wanted 150 to be my stop. But it was the morning. It was the first 30 minutes. So I'm like, I don't want to do it just yet. It held up its momentum. I watched it chop, do certain things, and it kept going. But as you can see right here, 150 with some small resistance, right? Look, boom, look at the rejection there. Look at the rejection there the previous day before. Look at the bounce here. Look at the rejection there off 150. Look at the bounce off 150 there. Look at the consolidation. Look at all of the interactions off of that 150 area. Is clear as day, right? So when we got above it in my head, okay, cool, right? So that's pretty simple there. If these stocks want to continue to gain some momentum, I'll be looking at this above 155. But yeah, that's just something simple right there. Told you guys I'm watching Meta. Meta has some divergence today, and when Meta has divergence, this thing will run. I done seen the market tank and Meta pop $50 same day, and it didn't care what the market was doing. So what I will say is right now it's kind of developing this slight little bull flag right here. Boom, down there one of those where the price action kind of runs, and then it gives you like a little zigzag in a downtrend, and then typically one of these will happen. Now it is in the post market, so it may just be fake for right now, but that's some potential there. But I am looking for this thing to continue to hold momentum and have some divergence to the market above this 620. All right. Really, this was the same play we took last time. We can see why 620 is so important, or why I keep saying that's pretty much the confirmation level. Okay. Look at 620. Look at the interactions off. Look at the interactions off the area. That's all I'm be looking for. I just want to see, did a level respect or didn't respect a level or an area. And then I'm pretty much just taking trades off of that same general area to be able to use for valid stop losses. Because I always want to know when my trade could possibly be invalid. Even if I get faked out, I would rather take a risk on getting faked out versus me holding something and I'm in a trade where I don't know if I should still be holding or not, and then I don't respect my stop loss, and then I end up losing more than what I intended to lose. Then, so that's pretty much what I seen today, and then we covered the market. So let's go. I'm gonna go look over the chat, and then you guys throw in some ticker symbols, and then we kind of just go from there. We got like 40 more minutes left, so we chilling. All right. Any questions you guys have, go ahead, throw them in the chat. Whether it's on the course, whether you just now coming in, whether you're whatever. Let's just chop it up. All right. He said, hymns, next week I'm going in for a call. Oh, one thing before we do, I want to look at AVGO, because that's one of the top dogs, right? In this whole space. This is one of the big dogs. So how do we evaluate earnings calls? It's a specific way we do that. You go right here. This is the blueprint. Okay. What do we know? What do we understand of? So for my pure beginners that just coming in, earnings calls earnings calls are basically like progress reports, okay, for companies. And they do them every 3 months. Okay? So because they're publicly traded companies, they have to put pretty much all of their business and information on the front line. They're not supposed to hide anything, okay? And whether they do hide stuff is, we don't know that. We don't got no, you know what I'm saying? But they're not supposed to. So to the best of our knowledge, everything is on the front line. And they have to have these calls with their investors and pretty much explain to them what's been going on with them the last 3 months. What have y'all been doing? Have y'all made money? And then by how much? So what are your margins? Have you lost money? And then by how much? And why have you lost money? What are your projections? What do you project in the rest of the year and the next 3 months? Anything exciting? Any new acquisitions, partnerships, things of that nature. What was the earnings per share? What was the revenue like? They have to tell these guys this stuff every 3 months. Okay? So that's what an earnings call is. Now, typically, a stock will react to an earnings call. Well, not typically. A stock will react to an earnings call based off of 3 things. There's 3 major key things when it comes to a company's earnings. The first one is exactly what the name is, earnings. So earnings per share. How much net profit per share did you guys make on the market? So for every share that you have on the market, how much of that was actual profit? Makes sense? So EPS. And then the next thing, revenue. How much total did you guys make from all of your products and services before taxes, before paying employees, before this, that, and the third? Revenue. And then guidance / forecast. Okay? Now, depending on what that information comes out as, that's how you're going to see the stock react. So this is why you'll see different things as far as the stock will have good earnings and good revenue, but maybe they miss guidance, so the stock will tank. You will see situations where the company miss revenue and miss guidance, miss revenue and miss earnings, EPS, but the stock will pop. Make sense? You will have situations where the company miss earnings but beat EPS, or beat EPS but miss revenue. And then depending on whether they up their guidance, then you will see the stock either pop or fall. Okay, so those are like 3 situations you typically would see when it comes to earnings calls. Okay, so this section here in the course is going to break this down for you guys, much more detail of like what to listen for, what to look for, red flags when it comes to earnings. Okay, now let's go see. I forgot to look at the VIX 2 just real quick and see where we are. 16. Okay. All right. Getting close. All right. So let's look at these numbers real quick. On TradingView, just click the little E. So these guys did beat earnings, but not by that much. By like 4 cents. So they were expected to do, analysts expect them to do 2.3 or $2.39 per share. They did. They came out and they beat that with $2.44 per share. Revenue in the last 3 months, they were expected to do 22.13 billion. They did 22.19 billion, so they beat by 56 million. So they did beat numbers. So why the hell did AVGO tank $20 in a post? Oh damn! Wait, I'm tripping. $80? $80 in the post market. Wow, insane. Let's go figure that out. So now this is something we do called, this is fundamental analysis. So this don't have nothing to do with the charts. But the charts is just showing us the reaction based off the fundamentals. Make sense? But what we're doing right now, what I'm looking at right now, is I'm looking to see, okay, on the back end, what's going on with the company. So this is your fundamental analysis here, and we do a combination of this. This is what we focus on in the group. All right. So we need to figure out, why did AVGO fall $80 post market? Because that is insane. I didn't see AVGO pop $80. You know, I didn't see AVGO pop $40, pop $20. In this situation with this earnings call, it fell $80. So something is, what's going on? So AVGO spot despite accelerating AI chip growth. Let's click on this. Let's see what we get from here. The numbers was beautiful. Okay, so they're not telling me. So what I'm going to do is go here, go to Yahoo Finance, go to more topics, go to earnings, and then scroll down and then see if your stock pops up. So let's just see if AVGO pops up and see if they give us a brief explanation of what went on. Got CrowdStrike. So AVGO. All right. Let's see something real quick. So let me go to AVGO, then I'm going to go to news right here. Broadcom sync after hours as AI chip sales forecast disappoint. All right. Perfect. So this would it be? So what happened? Broadcom AVGO stock declined 6% after hours trading Wednesday despite posting revenue and operating profit in its fiscal second quarter. Cool, we read the numbers already. We already understand. However, Broadcom's third quarter revenue outlook and AI chip sales forecast disappointed Wall Street. The company said it expected revenue for the current quarter to come to $29.4 billion compared to the consensus estimate of $28.61 billion. I petty as hell. Okay, so now I understand the situation. Okay, so this is why when evaluating these things, we want to go on the back end a little bit and see, get a much better understanding of, okay, why the stock did what it did, and, you know, pretty much just what's going on with the situation. So they petty as hell because you mad at Broadcom for their revenue outlook and AI chip sales to come out to 828 because y'all had an estimate of 29 billion. So yeah, you short about $1 billion or so, probably about like $1.5 billion or whatever the case, but that's not. Semiconductor revenue and artificial intelligence in the second quarter grew 134% year over year. However, AI chip sales for the third quarter were projected at 16 billion, below analyst estimates of 17.2. So, again, that's only $1 billion off. Now, I'm saying that like $1 billion ain't a lot of money, but with these guys, it's not, bro. But I mean, it is, so I get it. Like $1 billion, that shit crazy. But you gotta think, bro. They're projected to do 16 billion, but since y'all gave estimates of 17, it's kind of petty. So that's why the stock fell, guys. That's why the stock did not pop. Their estimates, the company's estimates themselves, were not as expected that the analysts had. But those projections aren't even off by a lot. Both of them that I just read is only off by $1 billion or so. So keep AVG on your watch, man. Keep AVG on the watch. They probably just downplaying it for right now, and this thing, you know, could get a relief bounce. So far as levels, last month these were the two main levels here. This is what it opened. This is what it closed at for April. This is what it opened up at for May. So I got these levels plotted. This level here at the 417 and change. But let me see. Even if it's not this month, even if we don't get a relief bounce this month, they may try to downplay it a little bit more, especially if the market decide to go the other way. We could definitely see AVGO take a little turn and some profit taking. That's pretty much all it is, profit taking. Because nothing changed about the company. So I don't know. There's not really no crazy levels on here for real. I would say just keep it on watch. Like this whole little area just hella chop. You can try to take a bounce off of this and keep like 415, 417 as a stop. One of these as a relief bounce back into 440. I'll just set a layer like 420 just to see. But would I buy shares on that dip? That's a 15% dip. You can average in. That's what I would do. I would average in. Since this is previous, retesting now at this point, previous all-time highs right here. So it's not a bad point to average in, but I would not load the boat on AVGO if you're thinking about grabbing it long-term. All right. So that's our kind of our evaluation for AVGO. Cool. Any other important players had earnings? Y'all let me know. Any stocks we like to trade had earnings? Because I'll go back on Earnings Whisper and look and see if I see something. Check out Hims. All right, cool. Oh. What were you looking at for this? And then remember, when y'all tossing out the stock, just let me know whether you're looking at calls, puts, long term. Do you want to know, like, is it just a good company? So that way I know, like, where I'm headed with it. But this is a crazy level that it's bouncing off of, bro. This was previous all-time highs, literally on 25.56. This was dumb. Not even only that, no, this level is crazy. Yo. And I don't even trade hymns. Not for no specific reason. I just never really been into it for real. But look. Whoa. Look at the bounces right here. Look at that. And then now look at that. But if you look at this on a broader scale, wow. Clean reject off 25 and change. Clean reject off 25 and change. Then you actually broke. You couldn't retest. You fell through. You gapped up, ran. Came back, retested 25 area. Popped off. You came back again, retested the same area. Popped off. Now, so are you looking at calls? I'm assuming calls on this. You got a rejection here. You got a gap up. Some bounces here. Rejections here. And now you here. So that's interesting, man. I'm assuming you looking at calls on this, bro. Let me know. If this thing decides to pop, I would say 28. Now, what I will say is, if you guys believe in this company long term, I will grab it here, because look at the dip that it's on. It's crazy. So if you was looking at this long term, bro, it's down 65% from highs. It's major resistance at 25. So if you was gonna at least get a starter position in, I would recommend it here. All right, my dog. What else we got? Yep, AVGO, we talked about that. Netflix was oversold. Yep. Down 12% on Netflix, but it's at perfect zone for that pop. Damn, when you get in Netflix, bro. In FLX. Yeah, that RSI looking decent on Netflix. Go ahead and grab long-term shares, man. If nothing else, if this thing don't decide to pop around this little 80 range, it's gonna definitely pop again at 75. I am mad that I missed this trendline breakdown, bro, of 86. I think we charted this on a live one time, looking at this right here in real life. But yeah, we seen this zone finally give out here. But this RSI is cold right here. Like, it's there. So I will be watching. And two, on a monthly time frame, we got these monthly levels. So about above about 80, 83. We can look for this thing to gain back momentum. I don't really want this thing at 80 or 78, either 76, 75-ish, or above 83 now for calls. And this will be a leap situation / deep swing. Okay? Because it is oversold. It's going to take time to work out. So we're going to need to buy some time on it. But I'm liking this. And it actually rejected off. That's where it rejected off today as well. And this day, this is where it gapped up from. Yeah, so this, I'm liking this 83 and change. This is valid. So I'm going to go ahead and set alert there just in case. Other than that, this trend line break, this thing looks like could potentially come to 80. Then from 80, 78. But just like we caught this last year, oh no, that was this year. Just like we caught this whole little wave right here, we caught this pop off 80. We're going to do the same thing. All right. So that's that on Netflix. What else y'all got? CGE. I'm grabbing CEG 100% tomorrow. I seen somebody in the group. I think Zachariah just hit off CGE. Bro hit crazy off CGE yesterday. Constellation Energy Corporation. Let me add that to my all-star watch list because it's something that I don't have. Were you talking about calls on this? Let's see where this thing is at. Oh, he must have played puts. Did he play puts yesterday? I don't know how bro hit off that because it don't even look like it really went nowhere. But yeah, this thing is in a crazy zone right here. I do peep this demand zone for sure. So about 255 to about 267. So that's about a $10 difference. But as we can see right here in this weekly time frame, and then let me bring up my moving averages. It is bouncing from this general area. It is trying to create a trend line here. It could either do that or you could say like that, but I think it's something like this. So it is slick bouncing off this trend line. I think good confirmation for this, my dog, is 275. What was you planning on grabbing this above? Because what I'm looking at right now is, it is right here. You got this level here at about this 267. If I go to my monthly higher time frames and find open and close prices on these higher time frames, you got a 3-month open and close right here at 282. They opened this month at 275. All right, I think this is good, bro. So if we get a break and hold above about 280-ish, then I think that'll be some good confirmation. You could use yesterday's low as a stop, 260, and get in where it is now. That's not that bad. But the reason why I say that, you got this daily gap fill. So I'm thinking this could probably, if this want to catch momentum, we kind of got like a little catalyst here. Not catalyst, but like, just like a little extra reason to kind of get in above that 275, 280-ish because of the gap fill. And then we could probably see like something like that. Based off like the major outlook from the bounces from these general area here. So I'll go ahead and set an alert at about 280, 275. I think that was Frank. So let me know, bro. What else we got? Spa leaps. Yeah, if you still in spa leaps, I mean, I would trim, definitely. If you got more than one kind. If you only got one kind, just trail your stop. That's it. Just trail your stop, so that way you can continue to ride the wave the whole year. But you trailing your stop, so don't keep your stop at the same stop loss it was when you first got in, my dog. That's what I would say, bro. He said indicators on trying to follow. He said, yeah, I know some LOL, and I have my indicators for sure. He said, now are you looking or searching for these trades and putting the trades in on TradingView or Robinhood? So you don't put trades in on TradingView, my dog. Makai. You would just have to like hook your broker up to your trading view. You can do that with certain brokers, allow you to do that, but for the most part, I think most of us are we're just using trading view just for the charting, but then we're actually executing on our broker. So we're doing it separate. So like we're just switching back and forth between the apps, bro. And it sounds like a lot, but it's not. Like once you get to working your phone, that's why I tell people like, bro, you don't gotta stress not having no computer when you first get into the game, bro. Like, because I do something, bro. I'm rarely, the only time I'm on my computer is when I'm deeply researching companies, like, you know what I'm saying? But as far as the execution and shit like that, and finding the, far as like finding the setups, yeah, I'm on my computer. But even sometimes, like I may be on the go or I may be doing something, I find it, I'm doing the same shit on my phone, like. So most of it is on your phone, my dog, and switching through the apps, bro. But I'm telling you, like, it's gonna get easier as you go through. All right. But yeah, bro, that's how we do it. So you can execute on Robinhood, Webull, Fidelity, any of the apps that's mentioned in the course, my dog, that you got access to. Everyone remember, especially beginners, no position is a position. Patience is your best friend. Real life. You don't see a trade, hey, see nothing, play nothing. I got the same levels bet. He said, I'm finna buy more BTC for sure. You speaking facts. Is only certain cryptos, the real world, long term, SRP. Yeah, real life. Especially meme coin, yeah. Trump was just talking about crypto. Gold, silver, you can't even flip gold. These premium and mine, not trying to by the price. Real life. He said, that's me, bro. I'm gonna hold on to the bread till I know. Hell yeah. I want to put $20 to $30 a month into Nvidia, Visa, and Eli Lilly and hold them for 5-10 years. What do you think of this? Shit. I'm all for it, bro. Because look at it like this, gang. If you don't put that $20, if you don't put that $30 in Nvidia, Visa, and Eli every month, well, guess what? Guess where that $30 gonna go to? Guess where that $30 gonna go to a month? But that same 30, you could have just been building your position, even if it's just starting off with just fractional shares. Just building up and building up and building up in that account. That same 30, bro, I'm not saying you do this, but would have went to some Black and Milds. You feel me? Would have went to some snacks. Would have went to, hey, you probably gave it to somebody. That 30 is gonna go somewhere else, not valuable. You feel me? So I'm all for it. Real life. That's how I started with my Roth IRA, bro. So that's some sauce in itself. Is find a portion of money that you know and understand a month is going to some dumb shit, bro. And what you do is you put that same amount of money into an account where it's working and growing for you. In my purposes, a Roth, for me, it's my Roth IRA. So I know at the bare minimum I'm going to spend $100 a month on some dumb retarded some shit I know for a fact I didn't need to spend $100 on that. So what I do every month is I make sure I take that same 100 and I just put in my Roth IRA every trip with no crying, no debating, no what it is, because I know if I don't, I'm going to spend that 100 on something anyway, bro. And that shit's been adding up through time, yeah. I kid you not. So yeah, my dog. He said, how you feel about same day cons? Zero DTEs. How I feel about the zero DTEs, man. They cool, bro. You just gotta it's a thing, bro, with the zero DTEs, bro. Just understand. For one, I don't want my beginners playing with zero DTEs. If you are gonna play with closer dated contracts, just do. I would recommend no contract. If it's not 5 days out, at least. I'm talking about pure beginner. At least 5 days out. Don't even touch them cons, bro. In real life, until you actually get the really good sense of what you're doing. I'm not talking about for my guys that's been in. You know, you done already made money with the stock shit. You're a beginner, but you done already made some money. And you know what I'm saying? But, bro, and I'm pretty sure Frank could vouch for this, bro. And anybody that's in a group that got experience with this shit as a pure beginner, you fucking with them 0 DTEs. You just asking to just start your account off just red, bro. Because you don't really know what you doing foot, and it gives you no time to really, it don't give you no wiggle room. You know what I'm saying? They move too fast, bro. So unless you have a good sense of what you're doing, I would either recommend you be profitable already before start touching 0 DTEs. You know? Yeah, you could get lucky. Yeah, you could, but it's nothing wrong with 0 DTEs. It's just, bro, you gotta know what you're doing with them, bro. I'm not the one to sugarcoat. Oh yeah, bro, you can consistently trade 0 DTEs with no experience, and like, I'm not even finna tell you that, bro. I'm gonna be 1,000. Nothing wrong with 0 DTEs, but I'm just saying, at least if you can't be consistent with your cons 5 days out, you damn sure not finna be consistent with 0 DTEs, bro. That's how I look at shit, though. Like in real life, like when a motherfucker can't be consistent with some cons 5 days out, bro, the moment you see these 0 DTEs go against you, you can't even hold your composure together with 5-day out cons. You panicking when 5-day out cons go against you. So you talk about some DTEs? Alright, bro. In real life. No bullshit, bro. I can't sugarcoat it, bro. I would be 1,000. I can't even do it. I can't fake, bro. So hell yeah, bro. He said, all right, for sure, bro. We about to pop off in a little bit too, my dog. Appreciate you. He said, I lost more 0 DTEs than I did. Man, bro. Real life. So we not telling you no bull, bro. We want to see you win. We want to see you get to it, bro. So we ain't, you know what I'm saying? He said, we checked the rent. We checked him. He said, I got shares on Spot Robinhood for sure. 1,000, good stuff. Think so far good for puts. Not at the moment, cause so much. He said, upside. Let's see. He said so far puts. I was really looking to possibly long this. So far isn't good for puts unless it's, for me, bro, the highest probability thing is break and hold below 15, because it's been holding. Look how it's been holding 15, right? Look at the multiple bounces. So for me, all of this to me really is just noise. Anything in between this is just chop. Literally, it's chopping from 15 to 19, 15 to 19, 15 to 19. So unless I'm either catching SoFi calls down here or SoFi calls break and hold above $20, right? Look at the resistance. Or puts below 15, I am staying away from SoFi. That's just me personally, bro. That's what I see. That's the situation that's going on with this thing. So you can scalp it. I would say, hey, if you scalp puts, keep 17 as a stop loss. That's cool. At one point, I wanted calls above 17, but now I don't even want it above 17 no more. I'll just let this. If I don't catch it down here, which in this 15 to about 16 range for some leaps or deep swings, I don't want it nowhere definitely in this range. You feel me? We got to get above, break and hold above 20 for that. So that's kind of how I feel about the SoFi situation right now. Definitely keep it on close watch. Now, shares, that's a different story. Go ahead and grab you some long-term shares. You know, just hold them and build into them. Then you all good. Iran, I'm glad we popped out of this. You caught a little smooth move on it yesterday, just some light shit, but it's at highs. I think Iran is cool if it break and hold above 70, but it's really struggled today. Somebody spoke on Uber. Uber is kind of weird, man. I love this area, this general area here for sure, and it looked like it's finna do that. right? Just based off previous history. It even just bounced. It just did that. It went from 70 to 74, but it gave up all of its gains. So it's cool. This is a leap situation. So Uber is actually a leap situation. Because if you can catch it at like 71 and just keep 70 as a stop and get your cons a year plus out, or deep swing cons, then you're not really risking a lot. But as you guys can see, this thing is only running to about 74 and change. You feel me? So I wouldn't really try to catch it nowhere up in this. I would really only want Uber here, or break and hold above $80 is the most. As far as what options. Now, shares, go ahead and grab it. But that's pretty much what I see out the Uber situation. Now, Oracle's on a slight pullback. We got to keep our eyes on these companies. Okay, what I've learned is when shit start pulling back, you take your eye off of them, and then, damn, it was opportunity in that. So what I'm trying to do, what I've been really on hard on myself is when we get these pullback days and certain things, hey, no, keep them on the close watches. Still skim through them, look at them. Because when shit turn back around again and we go on a run, you want to be in a position. Now, what I see about Robinhood, okay, is it's starting to consolidate again. So this thing is not breaking and holding above $90. That's why I didn't want it where it was. So now this thing looks like it's trying to come back down in this range again. So again, this is another situation where I don't really want to touch Robinhood unless it's in this general area right here where it's previously been bouncing off clearly before, or calls above, break and hold above 90 and a 100 plus. That's it. Now you can short. This was a good short off of 90. Honestly, that was a good short. But anything, you don't really want to catch it in the middle because your risk reward is off if you're trying to play the middle. Try to stay away from middle action. Either buy calls at, either do something at support or do something at resistance, or do something at demand or do something at supply. Like catching stuff in the middle of stuff, it's tough, man. Just go light if you're going to do things of that nature. That's what I would really recommend. He said, I'm deaf staying away from any stocks and no man. Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly. Thank you. In real life. 1000%. Like, that's exactly what we call it. Because your risk to reward is off. What are you going to use as a stop loss? We can't only just think reward. Like, yeah, something may be tanking or popping off, but it's like, okay, if the trade goes the opposite way, what do I have to use? So do I want to get in hood puts where it is right here, knowing that 90 was the main look? This is clear resistance right here. This is a key level of resistance. Do I really want to get in at 82 and give myself a $7 stop loss, $8 stop loss? The best shit would have been probably 80. The most you probably should have did on a situation like this is 87. Because at that point, you only giving yourself a $3 stop. That's perfect. And then look at how much potential downside you got. But you getting in the middle here. Hood is on. This is pulling back. So a lot of stocks that we was riding that wave last week is pulling back. But just keep your eyes on them. You guys got any other sectors that you've been, looking at? Keep your eyes on. Just let the chat know. Let me know so I can review them. And keep my eyes on it. So Amazon broke this previous all-time high of 255. So that's interesting. These was good puts today. Didn't even really peep that. That little break and hold below 255. That wasn't that bad. Microsoft. Wow, this tank, yeah. So a lot of things gave up its gains. Now, Microsoft is, let me see, this tank pre-market a little bit. This is retesting this major resistance here. So this was major resistance right here at 430 on Microsoft. Okay, so what I'm going to do, if the market decides it wants to shake back, we could see like a little bit of fake out here and then get above, break and hold above 430 and then pop back into 450. But look how I rejected from 430 right here, and then also here. So this is some slight potential, but it looked like it just kind of tried to halfway go for the gap fill and then use this as some liquidity here to sell to the downside. That's pretty much what I see there. It faked people out thinking it was finna go for the full gap fill up in the 480, but it didn't. Now, CrowdStrike had earnings too as well, and they did the opposite of what PA&W did. Okay, cloud infrastructure stocks. So PA&W actually popped off for a minute pre-market, but then got sold off. Post-market, and then got sold off, and then tanked. But both of these stocks, right, they damn near do the same shit. But guess what? For earnings, they did the same thing too as well. So we look at Crowd, and these is two stocks that's been running, by the way. Infrastructure has been popping off. That's been one of the waves. That's where the money is. But if we look, we're about to pop off in a little minute. I'm just trying to get through these. And then he said, look at FPS. All right, bet. He said, I've been waiting for that mother to pull back. I don't think it's going too new. And it's one of these players I needed for AI data. All right, bet. We're going to look at that. So if you look, right, both of these stocks has been running drastically. Insane. They're the same chart. That's identical. You would think these is the same stocks, the way this shit look. You feel me? That's crazy. But why did they both did the same thing for earnings? So I'll look at more on the fundamental side of, like, you know, why they did what they did, why they didn't pop off. But they did beat numbers. Both of them beat numbers. So again, it's going to be something they said about the guidance and the forecast. So I'll be looking at that as far as a trade and some relief bounce on these guys. If I'm being honest, nothing, bro. These things is too high, like hella high. The only shit is probably puts, because at this point you got a daily 76 overbought on the RSI, and then you got a 70 on PA&W. So we may see some profit taking, but it's, as far as levels, there's no, like, I see nothing, bro. Not until, like, right here on PA&W, and then I actually do see some support here. And these are stocks, man. Once they fall, they fall. So I'll go ahead and set an alert about 640. If this thing when it decides to break and hold them below. CrowdStrike is also one of them ones that likes to gap down on earnings, but then it'll pop all day. So if this thing does decide to run and the market gets strong, watch this thing above 685. It's a little pre-market rejections here, and try to catch a relief bounce. So I'll just watch that general area on CrowdStrike. We're still looking at ARM. We're still looking at sales CRM above 200. It did pull back, so right now, not really looking at it. It's back in that choppy zone, but long-term shares, go ahead and grab that. IBM has been playing around. It did break a major key level of this 290 something. It is at a 30-minute, 200-day moving average. I thought this thing was actually gonna pop yesterday because it did close with an engulfing, but again, everything has been running. So, you know, we could just see a little bit of exhaustion here. But I am watching this at like this 300. I'm not gonna lie. This is another one of them Trump stocks. I know y'all seen that video about Trump talking about IBM. He's like, yeah, we love IBM. I love IBM. Yeah, it's amazing what you did with IBM. So IBM had got that little pop and, you know, that momentum going. Cool. And then obviously I'll let y'all, keep y'all updated what else I see tomorrow. Let's go ahead and look at OKLO, and then we're going to look at I trim IBM. I'm waiting. Yeah, that was good. You trimmed that for sure, bro. And then let's look at FPS, and then we'll be up out of here, y'all. All right. So FPS. What were you looking at on this? Forgent Power Solutions. Oh, it's a new stock on the market, huh? Yo. Hold on. IPO'd in February? Hold on. So far, I'm liking what I see. FPS IPO'd in February. They did beat their recent 2 earnings. Hold on. Let's look at some fundamentals. Let's see. My boy Frank probably put us on some game. Let's see. Hold on, bro. You just put us on some money. This might be good for our long-term picks. Risk growth. All right, let's see what they doing. So we'll go to quarterly since they new on the market. So Q1 of 2025, their total revenue, they brought in 154 million. Q2 2025, 175. They upped it. Okay. Q3, 186. Oh, so quarter over quarter, their revenue is growing every quarter since Q1 of 2025. 154, 175, 186, 237, 283, 290. Oh my. Oh, okay. Hold on. So now I'm turned. So now all right. So electrical equipment and parts, industrials. So Forgent Power Solutions design and manufactures electrical distribution equipment used in data centers, the power grid, and energy intensive industrial facilities. The company products includes automatic transfer switches, gear e-housing, generator connection cabinets, low voltage switch gear, low voltage transformers, medium. Okay. PDU transformers, power distribution to. Okay, all right, cool. So let me get into these numbers real quick, man. So, boom, income statement. All right, I'm loving the revenue. I'm loving the year-over-year growth and quarter-over-quarter growth. Gross profit. If we just talk initially, gross profit is growing year-over-year. Or in the last 2 years or so. This is from fiscal year 2024. So that's really good. Wow, 2024, the gross profit was 67 million. Trailing 12 months means exactly what it sounds like. So basically, year to date, their gross profit is $410 million. So this company is bringing in bank. Where you find this from, my dog? If we go down to operating income, okay, wow. So they were negative operating. The operating income was negative at one point because they had too much expenses to run the company. In 2024, 2025, they got that together and was able to operate income net 72 million. Trailing 12 months, damn near 100 million. Now, what happened was their operating expenses, the total operating expenses, of which it cost this company to run their business, that did increase as well, but their margins just grew, the revenue, so they was able to keep more on the back end. So they went from operating expenses, it cost them 146 to run their business as a whole, to now 240, 258, but they could withstand it because they bringing in 410. They bringing in $500 million. So pre-tax income, if we make our way down to net income and net income common stock hold, right here we see in 2024 they were negative, obviously, right? Because they were instantly negative after the operating income right here at 4.7 million. So of course they're going to be negative, but then they shook back in 2025. They were able to net 15.1 million, and then now they're netting damn near 30 million. So they doubled that in just a year. So the profit margin, obviously we said that they were negative. They were not profitable 2024, but they came back 2025, 2.3. This is by how much did they grow their money. So always look at the margins. So yeah, the company may be profitable, this, that, and the third, but by how much? Or losing money, but by how much? This is Margins let you differentiate. This is what analysts and institutions use to differentiate the companies that's in the same sector and industry of each other, right? So yeah, you made money, but by how much? That's what's really important. So it's not growing by that much, but it's still a big significant difference from what they were doing. Now, gross margin is perfect. This is what their gross margin is growing by. This is the difference between the operating income and operating expenses, and then obviously this is the difference between the net profit. So as we go compare this, they're at a 3% profit margin. So let's go look at their average industry and sector, and let's go see what are their expectations for the industry and sector. Oh my God. I have never seen this. I have never seen an industry where the average profit margin was a damn negative. Wow. So what that's saying is that most of these companies are not profitable. If they are, not by a lot. Their average profit margin expectation is a negative 0.37%. That is crazy. So the fact that this company even got a positive 3%, we putting that on the board. Now, as far as where they rank market cap wise, they're number 5 out of 50 stocks. So that's good. That's decent. Perfect. Now we need to compare this to the sector, industrial sector. So obviously they got work to do compared to the sector though. Okay, because there's more stocks in the sector, so it's more expectation. Remember, the industries are niches. So they got some work to do. Okay, but they are growing. They are trying their best. The fact that they're even better than 50 stocks in their niche industry, they're expected to be not that much of a profitable company, but they're trying. They were an unprofitable company. In the last 2 years, they did what they had to do. So they're not at 7% yet, but I'm going to give them a pass for that. Now, does this company take on a lot of debt? So the balance sheet, their income statement, I'll give that a thumbs up. So cash and cash equivalents in 2025 fiscal year, they had $111 million in cash. Right now, they kind of shrunk a little bit, 15%, 93 to 93. If we look at quarterly, yeah, so it's been decreasing since Q3 of 2025. Okay, so total assets. Remember, I don't have, because this is a new company, right, on the market. So the data, we only getting data from like 20. So we got to evaluate this company a little bit different, because we're literally only getting data from the beginning of 2025, and then like they gave us a little bit for 2024 for the income statement. But you guys can see I can't go no further, so I got to work with what I got to work with here. Total assets in 2025, they had 1.3 billion. They upped it this year with 1.8 billion. That's cool. Total liabilities, they had 2025, 963 million. Right now, they got 1.2 billion. So that gives me a shareholder equity of positive for this year, 582 million. Last year, it was positive 573. So we'll take that. So they got about a half $1 billion spread between their assets and liabilities. So that's just telling me that this company does have more assets than liabilities on its balance sheet, which is good. Now, debt. So this company is in debt, guys. All right. So this number should be positive. So this is saying is that this company does not have enough cash on hand to take care of the amount of total debt that a company has altogether. Total debt is you're just adding the and just stay with me here, especially for my beginners who didn't go through the course yet. All this stuff is going to come on. All this stuff on how to break a company down and see certain shit on the back end that the charts is not going to tell you of why this is running in the first place. So why this is doing so good since IPO is because of this stuff here that we're going over right now. It's the fundamentals. Remember, the chart just gives you a visualization of what's going on, but that's not why that isn't why it's actually doing what it's doing. Make sense? So that's why this stuff is important. Especially, just understanding the company. You really want to understand a company that you're trading and investing in. You want to know like what's going on in the back end. So total debt is your short-term debt and your plus your any long-term debt that the company has. So long-term debt is any debt that the company has accumulated for anything more than over a year. And then any short-term debt is any debt that the company accumulated within a year or like the last 12 months or so. So that's what this is right here. Now, as we can see, right, their debt did grow because in 2025 they had a total debt of $630 million, and then it went up to 707. And their total debt, right? Because all we doing right now is all you have to do is go to right here where it says cash and investments, okay? Where cash and cash equivalents is going to look different on different sites. But you take this $93 million and all you do is subtract it by this here, the total debt. And that's what the number that you get here when it says net debt or net cash, that is how much, that is what's letting you know how, if the company was to take their cash and cash equivalents, if they was to pay this off, this number off here, how would they still have any cash left? And if the answer is no, if that number comes out negative, well, that mean that company does not have as much cash to handle their debt that they have on hand. Make sense? So technically, you will want to see this number positive to gain more confidence with the company being financially strong. You don't want to see this negative, but sometimes that you're going to see that's going to happen. Okay, because that's what these companies do. They take on debt, but they're trying to grow. As long as you see the other statements kind of making sense, then that's good. Now, it gets to a red flag where you see this through years and quarter after quarter, this shit just starts growing and growing and growing. Even with their cash flow, what you'll see is a red flag of their cash pile decreasing, but they're increasing their debt. So at that point, you guys are putting yourself in a situation where if something was to happen, you're gonna go bankrupt because you have no cash to fall on. So look at it just like this. If you go, it's supposed to look like this. It's not supposed to look like that. So it's supposed to look like this. So if you go to Apple, right, and you go to balance sheet and you see cash and cash equivalents or just cash and cash in investments or whatever, right? This number here, you see how this says $68.5 billion for 12 months? If you go to total debt, right here, it says 84. So all you do is do the difference. Did that make sense? So you see how this number come out positive? If you look at Oracle, just stay with me just real quick. You see how cash and cash equivalents is 39 billion? And then you go to total debt, 153 billion. You just subtract, look how this number come out negative. So Oracle is a company that has a lot of debt on their balance sheet. They have 113, damn near $114 billion in debt. They don't have enough cash to cover that shit if they was needed to pay it off all in one, meaning, you know, something catastrophic could happen if they don't take control of that. Okay? So it's just certain different ways of how you can evaluate that. But overall, I'll give this company some credit because they're trying. They're better than damn near most of the companies in the industry by just even having positive profit margins. So I'll give them that. The other thing I'm going to look at is the cash flow here. So I'm going to look at their free cash flow. And this is you want to see this positive too. You don't want to see that. So that's probably the only situation that this company is in right now. They don't got no extra money, y'all. They damn near doing everything that they possibly can, but on a budget. That's like a situation like this. Because this free cash flow, that's supposed to be positive 97 million. That's not supposed to be negative, bro. So what that means is if you look right here and you see capital expenditures, you go right here, their expenses is way too much on this cash flow statement. They don't bring in enough money for it. So y'all bringing in 37 million, but bro, your capital expenditures is 125. Of course, this is gonna put you in a negative. Make sense? So what you're supposed to see is this here, for example. You're supposed to be able to go to the cash flow statement, go to free cash flow, and see, oh, this company has extra money on the side. So Apple has $125 billion in free cash flow. It's hard for Apple to go broke. How the fuck can Apple go broke if they got $130 billion sitting in extra paper that they ain't even tied to nothing, just on this free cash flow statement? You feel what I'm saying? Make sense? So it's important when you guys are evaluating companies. Notice how I'm figuring out, I'm finding things that's wrong with the company that they need to improve on, but also things that's good with the company that they are doing real good, and you have to cut them some slack for it. But you want to know both. You can't only just look at, the good things about the company and not understand the red flags or the bad thing about the company, because you don't fully know the company if you don't know what can go wrong with it or what's wrong with it. If you're only just looking at the, at the good side. So I identify a few things that this company needs to improvement on, but also a few things that the company is doing really well. And I will cut them some slack. And, far as being $60 a share, the shit that they doing, I think it's worth it. I think this is a company that, hey, we could just average in. So shout out to Frank for throwing this in, bro. Obviously, that's just the beginning. You want to remember, guru focus. Remember, that's not even everything of how you fully will break down a company, right? So remember, you would go find what are the institutional holders that it has, right? Does it have our top institutional holders? You would go through that. You would go through, look at Google Focus, see what, go see what our analysts say. Are they agreeing with us? What is the growth rate, profitability rate, profit mark? Like, look at all that. You feel me? But just on some brief stuff, because we about to end the live. That's how you would, easy for you to just break it down. Go look at the CEOs. What's the CEO history? Like, all of that stuff, right? Ratios. How well is management good at running the company? Easy. Me just looking at this right now, they're doing pretty good. These margins are positive right now, so that's good. So was you looking at this just for trade, bro, or long term? Right now, this thing looks like it's having some momentum. I'm gonna be 1,000. This thing has been running, bro. I like this for sure. I wouldn't mind grabbing this for shares, bro. Real life. So I'm gonna mark this down because this will be going in risk growth, because they got a lot of growth to get to. FPS. Now, as far as the technical, it's at highs. So remember, when shit at highs, there's no technical setup. You pretty much just riding off the momentum. So if you want to do like a break and hold above 60, you can do that. And that'll be that. We could definitely set an alert for like $60 and see, because this thing has momentum. This shit been running, bro. So I'll go ahead and set an alert for that. But as far as the technical setup, there's nothing there, literally. But that's just a breakdown of that company, my dog. Appreciate you throwing that in there. And then somebody said, okay, LO. Let's take a brief look at that, and then we are going to go ahead and pop off, my dog. Yeah, bro, with this, I will wait for a break and hold above 80. If you're doing calls, do a break and hold above 80. It's clear resistance right here. It's getting clapped off 80 every time. It can't hold 80 even before. That's where it rejected from before. This is where it popped off. 80 is that main level. Either wait for momentum, break and hold above 80, or if you do want to play this, right, and try to catch a dip, buy a leap, or a deep swing on this, I will wait until this thing, obviously, like highest probability, bro. Wait till to get to about 56. Why? Because you can see this is all-time highs at one point, but look at the rejection. Boom, it tanked. It got up here again, fell again, chopped around, right? Came back, retested, boom, popped off, did one of these from that same general area. Right here, it consolidated before it broke below 56, and then it gapped up, held 56. This is where it popped off of before. Then recently, right here, it bounced off 56 and went up here. So technically, this is no man's land. This is nothing. Unless you getting calls right here in this area, or calls break and hold above 80, or puts right here and keep it 80 as a stop, there's nothing really here. Just like, unless you just want to, like, you could do this. unless you was just thinking puts, like you could definitely use, like I see it's on the daily time frames been consistently kind of almost rejecting off like 72/70. So you could use 70 and try to ride the wave back down in the low 60s. You can do that. But on a bigger scale, bro, if you're just looking at it like this is chop. This is choppiness. You feel me? Before we wrap it up, on more capital expenditure because of his growing backlog, that's pretty bullish. Yeah, so they are in a growth state. So when you see certain situations like that, then we can cut certain companies slack. You feel me? That's a company that they just got on the market. You know, they're already doing better than their peers. You know, so we could cut them some slack. I figure like, hey, if they turn profitable, they'll figure it out. So they got a few things to work on, but you know, then that's what's up. Yeah, that's how I would go about that deal. Where Meta is supposed to be running until 2030, but they have a test on nuclear, will make or break a stock or will affect nuclear sector. That's tough. So definitely, that shit like a sandwich. Like this shit, like it's the bottom bun right here, just the top bun, and then it's just like relish, a burger, all type of shit in the middle. You feel me? So I feel like the best thing, bro, is above 80, puts below 56, or just catch it at around 60 or whatever the case. But I appreciate y'all, man. Any questions, whatever the case that we weren't able to cover, just inbox me, inbox the member communication chat, and we go from there, man. Let's run it up, y'all, for the rest of the month. Protect your capital for the rest of the week. Remember, it's the beginning of the month, so you don't have to force it. You don't have to size up too heavy, you know, the first week of the month or anything of that sort, man. We got the whole month to, you know, make some bread, make some cheese, and make a living off this shit, y'all. So, you know, protect your capital and, you know, just trade what the market is telling you, and shit, let's stick together. I've been love trading with a team. This shit is much better than doing this shit by yourself because you can't see everything, and, you know, just the motivation, the inspiration, and just the accountability is there. You feel me? So, appreciate y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and pop off. Always remember, Investyobag, because nobody else gonna do it for you. One love. I'm out of here. Shout out my team, man. Real life. I'm out of here, y'all. DM me the word invest or click the link in my bio for the full community mentorship access. All right. If you got $70, you can start to learn, bro. That's all you need. All right. $70 one-time entry fee. And you in there, my boy. All the sauce. So just DM me. If you want to know what my program provides, walk you through. If you stayed on the live and you learned some things, then, you know, shout out to you for staying the whole time, man. I appreciate y'all's support. And let's rock out. Let's get this money, man. 1,000.